we're ready to proceed to types of plans. Types of plans. Here, we see the different types of plans that organizations can use. And these are classified based on four key factors. Breadth, so meaning plans can be either strategic and or operational. Doon sa time frame, plans can vary on duration. Pwedeng long term yan or short term depending on the goals that they are designed to achieve. Sa specificity, plans may be directional, providing general guidelines, or they can be specific, outlining detailed actions. And number 4, dun sa frequency of use, some plans are standing plans, meaning they are being used repeatedly for recurring activities, while others are single-use plans, which are created only for unique or one-time event or project. So these categories will help managers choose the right type of plan depending on the situation and the organization's needs. And it's important to note that these types of plans aren't independent. They often overlap and work together. For example, strategic plans are typically long-term, they are also directional, and it could be single-use. Okay? And on the other hand, let's say for example, operational plans, they are usually short-term, they are specific, and they are standing. Okay. So while strategic and operational plans may seem different, they often complement each other, with strategic plans setting the overall direction and operational plans handling the day-to-day execution of those plans. Okay, so let's discuss this type of plans individually. Right, strategic plans and operational plans. So this is now on the breadth category of plans. Breadth category of plans, which looks at how wide-reaching these plans are within the organization. So, pag sinasabi nating strategic plans, these plans apply to the entire organization and focus on establishing overall or long-term goals. So, strategic plans are broad in scope, addressing big picture and setting the organization's direction. For example, the strategic plan could be to expand the company into the international markets over the next 5 years. So this would involve now high-level decisions on things like which markets to enter, how to position your organization or your brand globally, and what investments are you going to invest in or required. Okay. Operational plans, in contrast, are narrower and focus on specific areas or departments within the organization. So, ito yung mga plans that will detail the day-to-day activities required to meet the organization's short-term goals. Okay? So, while strategic plans are focused on the organization as a whole and its long-term direction, operational plans are more specific and deal with individual departments and short-term objectives. Example, ang strategic plan dito is to open 5 new locations within the city over the next 3 years. Example, ito para sa coffee shop. Okay? So mag-open daw sila ng 5 new locations within the city over the next 3 years. That's the strategic plans or strategic plan. Now, the operational plan on the other end could focus now on yung day-to-day operations of the coffee shop. So, anong gagawin nila? Ano magiging target nila? So, they could make an operational plan focusing on increasing the efficiency and order for fulfillment by 15% in the next quarter. So, this plan would include actions like staff scheduling improvements, streamlining the process for making coffee, or upgrading the POS systems to process order faster. So it's about improving performance in a specific part of the operations or the business. Kasi yung strategic plans na mag-open ng 5 new locations, it's about expansion. It's about growth over a longer period. Okay? So, pwedeng yung maging activity dyan is yung mga securing funding, selecting locations, developing marketing strategy, so on and so forth. Okay? Punta naman tayo sa long-term and short-term plans. So, natapos na natin yung breadth of plans. How can it be strategic or operational? Now, let's look at the time frame of these plans. So, pwedeng long-term, pwedeng short-term, depending on the period they cover. So, long-term, these are plans that are stretched beyond 3 years. For example, in the coffee shop scenario, a long-term plan could be to expand the business in the 5 new locations within 5 years. So, this type of planning takes into account now major goals that will take more time and resources to accomplish. Dito naman sa short-term plans, these cover 1 year or less, and they are focused on immediate objectives. For example, dun sa coffee shop, it could be to implement a new customer loyalty program within the next 6 months. So this type of plan focuses more on immediate, actionable steps that could yield quick results. Okay? So yun yung type of plans based on time frame. Then we have here based on specificity of plans naman, which could be specific or directional. Specific plans are specific, clear, di ba? Clearly defined goals with no room for interpretation. So this kind of plan outlines the precise goals and the steps needed to achieve them. So as an example, nakalagay dyan, makikita mo yung mga word dyan na team's output by 8%. So specific. Okay? So kapag naka-specify yung target, 8%, and also yung mga specific procedures, pilot allocations. So, kapag meron tayong mga ganitong type of plan, specific plans ang tawag dito, which are focused and leave little flexibility in how things are done. So, there is no room for interpretation because every aspect of the goal is clearly laid out, and the manager and the team will follow a defined path to concrete steps to reach that 8% increase. So that's a perfect example of a specific plan. Directional plan, on the other hand, are flexible and set out general guidelines rather than strict procedures. So they provide a sense of direction but allow managers to adjust as needed. So example natin dyan, Silverone. Ba? So, ang goal lang is sign great artists. Yun yung sinasabi. So that is a broad, flexible goal that allows for different approaches depending on the situation. Okay? So, although clear naman yung goal, kasi in its general direction, which is to find and sign talented artists, it doesn't define exactly yung mga exact steps or specific processes to get there. So merong freedom to pursue various methods for discovering and signing artists. So bahala na yung mga managers kung ano yung magiging methods nila, steps nila. Basta ang goal is to sign great artists. Okay? So pag directional plans, it just provides guidance, but it allows for different approaches depending on circumstances, making it directional plan. Okay? So pag specific, these are rigid, detailed actions, while directional plan allows for more flexibility and adaptability in how the goal is being achieved. Now, punta naman tayo dito sa last type of plans. Okay, the single use and standing plans. Single-use plans are designed to address one-time or unique situations. Kaya nga single. Diba? Okay, let's say, for example, when Walmart decided to expand its number of stores in China, top-level executives created a single-use plan specifically for this project. So this plan wouldn't be used again because it is tailored to that unique challenges and needs of that particular expansion. Single-use plans are developed for projects that won't be repeated in the same way. Standing plans, on the other hand, provide ongoing guidance for activities that happen repeatedly. So these plans includes now yung mga policies, rules, procedures. Example natin dyan yung sa University of Arizona, yung kanilang sexual harassment policy. That is a standing plan that will guide administrators, faculty, and staff in handling cases related to hiring and workplace conduct. Standing plans are used whenever the same type of situation arises, providing consistency in how things are handled. Okay? So, again, ang single-use, one-time situations na create sila for one-time situations. Standing plans offer ongoing direction for recurring activities. Now, tapos na tayo dun sa type of plans. Proceed na tayo sa levels of goals and plans. Okay. So we can see from the pyramid, goals and plans are structured from the top of the organization to the bottom, with each level supporting the one above it. So let's start with at the very top, the mission statement, which defines the overall purpose of the organization. Then number 2, we have sa baba ng mission statement, we have here the strategic goals plans, which are created by senior management. So ang focus naman on the organization as a whole, and it will set the long-term direction of the organization. Okay. Then we have the tactical goals or plans, which are handled by middle management. These plans break down the strategic goals into a more specific actions for major divisions or functions within the organization. And number 4, we have here operational goals or plans. So at the bottom of the pyramid, we have operational goals and plans created by lower management. So these plans are focused on day-to-day activities and specific tasks at the department or individual level. So we have to remember that in each level, they are connected. Strategic plans provide the overall direction, while the tactical and operational plans breaks down that direction into actionable steps at different levels of the organization. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide. So we can see here a clearer breakdown of how goals and plans are structured at the different levels of the organization. So everything starts from your mission statement. This is the foundation of the organization, answering the question, what is our reason for being? So basically, it sets or it defines the purpose of the organization and why it exists. Next is the vision statement. The vision answers the question, what do we want to become? Vision. Ano kaya tinga pagbalinan? Ano kaya tinga achieve? It provides a long-term view of where the organization aspires to be in the future. And then we have the strategic planning. Ito na ngayon yung step na ginagawa ng mga top managers and looks at the next 1 to 5 years. So dito sa strategic planning, meron kang output na strategic plan which involves setting broad goals and action plans that will guide the entire organization towards achieving its vision. Say for example, the goal might be expanding in new markets or launching a new product line. And then after the strategic planning, we have tactical planning, which is being handled by middle managers that will cover now shorter time frame, typically 6 to 24 months. So tactical plans break down the strategic goals into a more specific objectives for different divisions or departments. For instance, yung strategic plan mo is to launch a new product. Ang tactical plan might involve marketing department preparing advertising campaign. And then lastly, we have the operational planning. This is done by first line managers and focuses on immediate future, usually 1 to 52 weeks. So operational plans are now highly detailed and focus on the day-to-day activities needed to achieve tactical goals. So a possible example dito yung mga scheduling employee shifts, assigning specific tasks to team members to support marketing campaign, etc. Okay. So in each levels of planning builds on the other, starting with the mission, vision, then breaking down it to long-term strategy into a more specific and actionable steps through tactical and operational plans. Alright, so let's discuss this different levels of goals and plans individually. Okay, so nasabi ko na rin to kanina na yung planning process, ang very core niya is yung pag-create ng mission statement. So ito yung formal declaration of the organization's basic purpose. So it defines what the organization stands for and helps communicate its purpose, especially to external audiences like yung mga customers, partners, and investors. The mission is the foundation on which all other goals and plans are built. So it shapes the strategic goals of the company, which then guide the tactical plans at the divisional level, then finally influence the operational plans at the department level. So the mission gives organization a clear sense of purpose, why it exists. Okay, so this is a diagram that shows you how mission can be translated into specific goals and plans at each level of organization. So makikita mo yung mission statement is to improve the lives of families by providing consumer preferred paper products for kitchen and bathroom. So it outlines the company's overall purpose and reason for existence. And then the strategic goals, that is to improve company profits by 5% next year. It focuses now on the organization as a whole and sets a long-term direction. Okay. Then we have tactical goals. The tactical plan could now be to increase sales by 10% next year, okay, in a particular region or division. So this helps now bring the strategic goal closer to reality by focusing on specific areas of the business. Then on the operational goals and plans, makikita natin dyan na ang specific na plano dyan, actionable goal is to an individual salesperson will have a goal of calling on 10% more customers. Okay, so This is in response to the increasing sales and ultimately supports the strategic goal of the improving company profits. Okay? So the mission statement gives the organization its overarching purpose, and from there, strategic and tactical and operational goals are developed to achieve that mission in a measurable and specific ways. Okay? So this diagram also shows us the relationship between goals and plans at the different levels of an organization, and it shows how they are interconnected and aligned with the organization's mission. Okay? So it also highlights how goals, yung ating mga ends and plans at each level are linked, and with each level supporting the one above it. So all of these are working towards fulfilling the organization's mission. Okay? So individually, let's discuss yung mga component ng mga organizational planning process. So pag sinasabi natin strategic goals and strategic plans, okay, these are the broad statements pag strategic goals that the organization wants to be in the future. Ang strategic plans naman is these are the specific actions that the organization takes to achieve its strategic goals. Okay, so example are allocating resources, setting timelines, determining what actions are needed. So ang focus niyan is yung sa strategic, long-term, company-wide goals set by top management. Okay. So, they will be setting up kung ano yung mga desired level of productivity, product innovation, and responsibilities to stakeholders. So, ang strategic plans naman ngayon, ito na yung mga actionable steps that the organization takes to achieve the strategic goals. They are concerned with the overall direction of the company, focusing on growth, competition, and customer needs. Ito yung strategic plans. Okay? So, paano ba tayo makikipag-compete? Ano yung kailangan ng mga customer natin na kailangan nating i-provide, so on and so forth. So, basically, ito yung mga plano natin that would detail how the company intends to grow and compete and how to achieve the strategic goals. Okay. Tactical goals, on the other hand, these are specific outcomes now that major divisions or departments need to achieve to help the organization reach its broader strategic goals. For example, if the company's strategic goal is to increase profits by 5% over the next year, ano ang possible na tactical goal dito? It could be for the marketing department, might be to increase market share by 10% in a particular region. So, na-translate yung strategic goal into a tactical goal or a divisional target by the marketing department that is to increase market share by 10%. Example, in Asia. Okay? So, yung goal na yan, nakafocus na siya dun sa mga divisions or departments ng organization kung paano sila makapag-support para ma-achieve yung strategic goals na yan. And then, tactical plans are now the detailed actions to execute yung ating tactical goals and contribute now to our strategic plans and strategic goals. For example, yung sa marketing kanina, paano ma-increase yung market share by 10%. So, ang kanilang tactical plans would be to launch a new advertising campaign, partner with influencers, or conducting market research to reach the 10% increase in the market share. So, tactical plans are about how to get it done, yung ating mga tactical goals. We break down kung ano yung mga strategy na ba natin gamitin doon sa mga various divisions. Okay, so these are being tactical goals are being set by middle managers. And these tactical goals are about achieving yung mga short-term results. And yung ating tactical plans naman is necessary to achieve yung mga tactical goals natin within a shorter time frame. Okay? So, it could be 1 year or less. And then, we have here now, part of the tactical plans is yung mga tinatawag natin na functional areas. Na-discuss natin to sa unit 2, yung mga functional areas of management. Marketing, production, finance, HR, IT, and the like. Okay? So, dito sa tactical plans, each functional areas, meron silang tinatawag ngayon na tactical plans. Okay? Sa marketing, sa production, sa financial, sa human resource management. Okay? So, each of these functional area plans plays a critical role in helping the organization meet its overall objectives by focusing on the unique needs and goals of different departments. So, these tactical plans provides the how-to. Paano ko ba ma-achieve yung mga strategic goals, strategic plans. Okay. And these tactical plans will help organization achieve yung mga broader organizational strategy. Then we have operational goals and operational plans. These are the specific, for example, dito sa operational plans, these are goals that are specific and measurable expected from departments, work groups, or individuals. Ito na yung mga day-to-day tasks required to keep the organization running smoothly. And then operational plans naman, these are the steps needed to achieve operational goals and carry out tactical plans. Let's say for example, ang operational goal mo is to respond to 100 customers inquiries daily. So, ano ngayon yung magiging operational plan dito? It could be yung pag-schedule mo ng mga workers mo, staffing allocations, specific procedures to handle different type of customer requests. So, operational plans are the first line manager's tool for executing na yung mga daily, weekly, and monthly activities, helping them ensure that the department tasks are completed on time and efficiently. Okay? Right. So, throughout our discussion, we explored already yung mga different levels of planning within the organization. So, nandito na yung mga, to summarize, yung mga pinag-usapan natin. We have 3 levels of plans: strategic, tactical, and operational. Okay? So, in terms of time horizon, nakalagay dyan yung differences nila, yung scope, yung complexity. Okay? So, pag sinasabi ng strategic, focus lang siya dun sa long-term and broad goals. Tactical plans, focus on mid-term actions with specific departments. Pag operational plans naman, guides the day-to-day functioning of the business. And then, we have here the impact and interdependence. So, strategic plans have the broadest impact and requires the greatest level of coordination across the organization, while operational plans focus on specific department activities with less interdependence. Tapos tong tactical plans focus on the middle, impacting specific units but still requiring moderate or some cross-functional coordination. Okay, now we proceed to the type of plans as to frequency of use. So let's talk about standing plans. These plans are the companies used to handle regular and predictable situations. So standing plans are being used for things that happen over and over again. Okay, these plans are being used to make sure that everyone in the company knows what to do in similar situations, whether you are handling customer complaints, training new employees, scheduling shifts, standing plans. Make sure that those things are done the same way every time. So the rule in standing plan, okay, is that uh, we have this kind of plans because companies save time if we have this type of plan, so that employees don't have to figure out what to do each time the same situation happens. So it does makes the organization more organized and efficient. So standing plans can be likened to a set of instructions that guide everyone on how to act in certain situations, helping things run smoothly. Okay, those are the standing plans. And there are various types of standing plans. Number one, we have here policies or policy. Policies are general statements that guide managers on how to make decisions. So isipin natin na itong guidelines or rules are set of boundaries for decision making. For example, when a company might have a policy that says we promote from within, this help managers know what to do when hiring or promoting employees, meaning they would first resort into promotion from within or use internal recruitment before they proceed to external recruitment. And policies are broad and provide a way to interpret the company's overall strategy. Okay. So when managers are faced with decisions, most of the time they refer to policies to make sure that their decisions support the organizational goals. And also, policies cover a wide range of areas and act as a general guide for action, because policies aligned or policies are aligned with the organization's strategic plan. So overall, policies help managers make decisions or make consistent decisions that are in line with the company's overall direction. So here are the following examples of policies. So they are considered as policies because they provide guidance and rules for how to handle specific recurring situations within the organization. Let's say, for example, customer quality policy. So this sets up standards, or this sets the standard for how a company ensures that its products or services would always meet customer expectations. So it will guide employees' decision making, managers in areas related to product quality or customer satisfaction. So each of these policies acts as a guide or standing guide that will help managers and employees make consistent decisions and behave in line with the company's goals and values. Okay? Next type of standing plan is procedure. So a procedure is a step-by-step set of directions that explains exactly how to carry out tasks or activities. So we have procedures so that it will ensure that things are done in the same way each time to achieve specific outcome. So isipin natin na ang procedure ay parang isang recipe that tells you exactly what to do step by step to get the desired result. Sometimes naririnig natin yung word na SOP or Standard Operating Procedure. So an SOP is a detailed guide on how to complete a task, whether it's something like how to process a customer order, how to handle complaints, or even how to do inventory in a retail store. So each step is clear, precise, and must be followed to achieve company's goals. So ang procedure are there to make sure that the tasks are being done correctly and consistently every time. Okay? And importante rin yan para yung mga empleyado maintindihan nila yung mga exact steps needed to carry out company policies. So here is an example of a procedure for issuing refunds and a procedure for handling grievances. Okay? So, makikita mo dito, say for example, in the issuing for example yan for suppliers. Okay, but for example, for procedures for issuing refunds, imagine na lang natin meron tayong customer returns, nagbalik siya ng product and nag-request siya ng refund. The company would have a specific procedure in place to handle that situation para pare-pareho yung steps na susundin ng mga employees, ng ating mga workers kapag merong mga ganitong customer refunds, okay, or returns. Okay? And etong image naman nito, itong diagram na to, it shows a procedure for supplier agreements. It begins with reviewing the product, issuing a quotation, then leads to finalizing an agreement between the supplier and the company. So each step is laid out clearly para yung ating organization alam nang gagawin pag may ganitong agreement between the suppliers. So hindi yan sila manghula kung ano ang next step, ano yung final outcome ng procedure na to. So procedures, again, these are step-by-step instruction. Sabi ko na rin kanina yan. So by defining the steps and their order, procedures ensure that everyone in the organization knows exactly what to do when faced with a repetitive situation or problem. So na-eliminate natin dito yung confusion and ensures that there is uniformity in handling tasks. Okay, so it sets out the routine steps and specific steps for a particular circumstances. Okay, so basically itong mga procedure talaga nandyan so that all actions are consistent and effective, helping organizations respond smoothly to different circumstances. On the third type of standing plans is rules. Rules is another form of standing plans. Rules are specific statements that tell employees exactly what they can and cannot do. So they are clear, direct, and leave no room for interpretation. Okay? So alam naman natin yung rules. We know, all of us here know something regarding rules. Let's say for example inside the organization, merong rule ng mga nasa construction ka. For example, you have to wear protective gear when entering the construction area, the production area. So that is straightforward instruction that employees must follow. Okay. So isipin na lang natin na ang rules are do's and don'ts in the workplace. So they are there to promote safety, ensure uniformity, and ensure that everyone is treated fairly. And also, rules also prescribe or prohibit actions. They either describe what you should do in a certain situation and clearly state what you should not do. For example, no smoking within 10 meters of the building. That is a rule. That's just a boundary for safety reasons. Ano pa yung mga possible na example ng rules? Okay, it could be attendance rule, safety rule, dress code rule, the use of technology, confidentiality rule, workplace conduct rule. So lahat ng mga rules na yan, it sets clear expectations and ensures that employees understand exactly what behaviors are acceptable or not in the workplace. So again, rules guides behavior, ensuring that employees act in ways that are safe, ethical, and aligned with the organizational goals. Okay? Then we proceed now to single-use plants. Ano ba tong mga single-use plants na to? Okay. Single-use plants are plants that are created for one-time, unique situation that is unlikely to happen again. So these plans are developed to tackle specific objectives or issues that are not expected to recur, making them distinct from standing plans which are being used for ongoing operations. Okay? So, meron talaga ang ganyan sa organizations na meron talagang mga single-use plans na nangyayari. Okay? So, makikita natin mamaya yung example nito. For example is you will be launching a new product line or expanding in a new country. So they may develop a single-use plan to address all the specifics related to that unique event. So it could be yung plan could be the detail of the resources to be used, timelines, strategies required for the one-time event. But once the objective is met, the plan would not be reused. So ginagamit ang single-use plans para sa mga initiatives ng mga organization na nangangailangan ng flexibility and when they are responding to a new or a non-recurring challenges or opportunities. And the first type of single-use plan is program. So programs is a set of activities specifically designed to accomplish a particular objective within a specific period of time. So programs are typically detailed and involve multiple steps or stages. So normally a program would outline the objectives, policies, procedures required to achieve the goal, as well as the various rules, tasks, and necessary resources, okay, to complete the program. And part of that is also specifying yung mga budget na kailangan and ano yung mga concrete action plan detailing who will do what, when it will be done, and how the work will be completed. Okay. So example ng mga program are this: building new headquarters, special program training, sales promotion. These are considered programs because they are structured and organized efforts designed to accomplish specific objectives within a given time frame. Okay? So let's say for example the training program. So it involves identifying now training needs, developing training materials, scheduling sessions, allocating resources, evaluating the success of the training program. So this is a specific set of activities with a clear goal. Ano ba ang goal ng training? That is to enhance or improve employee skills and knowledge over a specific time. Okay, so remember that programs are usually not repetitive but are tailored for unique objectives. Okay. So once completed, the same program typically isn't reused, making it a single-use plan. Next is project. Project is also a type of a single-use plan. Okay. So a project is usually a part of a larger program. While the program focuses on achieving a broader goal, the project is a smaller, more specific effort within that program. Example, if you are running an employee training program, creating training videos would be one project within that program. So, mas smaller yung kanyang scope compared sa program. Kasi yung project, it has a narrower focus, including fewer resources, shorter time frame, and it is specifically addressed to a specific objective that contributes to the success of the overall program. Okay? And projects are temporary endeavors that are designed to achieve a specific result by a set deadlines. So, meron siyang beginning, meron siyang mga endpoints, merong clearly defined goals and a planned completion. And once the project is finished, the activities do not repeat. Okay? So example projects are the following: renovating the office, launching a new product, setting a company intranet. Okay? Example, renovating the office. This is a one-time activity with a clear start and an end date. Once the office renovation is complete, the project will not be repeated. Okay? So each of these examples has defined scope, resources, and time frame, which makes them projects rather than ongoing activities. And then last type of single-use plans is budget. Okay? So, alam naman natin tong budget. Okay? Hindi naman siguro first time na marinig itong word na budget. Di ba? You've been budgeting your resources, you've been budgeting your allowance, you've been budgeting your ano tawag natin dito, yung mga kapag meron kayong project, meron kayong tour, sinasabi nyo meron kayong budget for that certain activity. So, budget is simply a resource allocation and utilization for specific activities within the organization over a set period. Okay? So, resource allocation meaning hindi lang pera ang ina-allocate ninyo but including materials, time, i-allocate ninyo sa mga various departments or activities in the future. Okay. So, a budget is also a clear numerical presentation of expected outcomes. So, you are translating now the plans into figures. So, you will be determining yung allowable spending or how much revenue is to be expected. Saka meron ding predetermined objectives. Budgets are created to support the achievement of specific goals set by the various departments. So in essence, budget is a tool that will help us ensure that the organization's resources are used effectively and efficiently para ma-meet yung kanyang mga objectives. Okay? And once the budget is used for a certain project or program, okay, tapos na-achieve nyo na, natapos na, the budget will no longer be needed, which will make it a single-use plan. Alright, so that's it for now. We will continue our discussion in another meeting. So, thank you for listening and God bless everyone.